We're headed into the sea of monsters. You sure you're okay to do this?
Let's go do the impossible.
Percy Jackson Season 2 has come to an end, and honestly, I thought it was just okay. Now, I want to make one thing very clear before you get into this video. I've never read the books. I've only watched the movies. I didn't really care for the second movie. I only liked the first one, but even then I knew, it's a book to movie. There's only so much they put in there. So yeah, if you're looking for someone who's read the books and they're like doing comparison, that's not me. Just want to make that clear. So, I just didn't vibe with this second season, and I was thinking about it, and as I was looking back on, just kind of like looking at the broad view of the first season, I was like, oh, maybe it's the structure of the overall show, of the fact that like it is these kids going on these quests, and every episode is kind of like a part of the quest, as in a problem we're having, end of the episode, that part is already solved. I think of, this season where, spoilers by the way, if that wasn't clear, I'm going over this whole season. So they go to that island, right, and they're trapped, and it's like, oh, you gotta figure out, emotionally what's wrong with you, so that you can be good to get past the sirens, so that they don't like lure you over and eat you. And when I was watching that part, or that episode specifically, I was like, this feels like, it'd be a couple days in the book. Maybe like this should be 2 episodes, and it's being solved in 1 episode, especially because he gets turned into like a guinea pig. I was like, oh, this feels like it would be a part 2. Like, oh no, we end on a cliffhanger, and then the next episode, it would be him try to, figure that out. But instead, it just all gets solved in 1 episode. And so I was wondering, like, is the problem I'm having with the show that we're not really spending enough time for this quest to really feel like each part has its own, like, is everything too easy, essentially? Like, is this a show that's 8 episodes that really needs, like, 12, 16 episodes, and obviously Disney's not going to give them that sort of budget, and that's the issue that I'm having. I couldn't figure it out. I know one thing that definitely bothered me this season was that I just didn't care for the whole, how much time we spent with Grover being trapped with the Cyclops, and like that whole ordeal. By the time we got to the end of it, I was like, I felt like this was stretched on too long. But again, as someone who didn't read the books, I was wondering, just like, is the book 2 just not as good as well? Like, I don't know. I just couldn't figure out what it was that really just bothered me about this season. But I think the thing I did come down to is just like that whole Cyclops Golden Fleece like storyline. I felt like it was dragged out, and it just didn't need to be that long. Granted, I watched a video of this guy kind of doing like a summary of all 5 books, and it seemed like that was the kind of crux of book 2. So I feel like if I was a kid and I read the books, I'd probably be like, book 2 kind of sucks. Like, you know what I mean? But again, I don't know. So if you did read the books, let me know if this was like close to what the story was, or if it is like, hey, they needed more time to spend with these characters. I know another reason I'm feeling like this is because you get to the Sea of Monsters, you're with, Percy, you're with Percy, Clarice, and Annabeth, right? And Clarice is like, all right, well, let's go this way. And they're like, well, let's go this way. This is the, the way that homeboy went. Is it Odysseus? I don't remember. But he went that way. He sacrificed some of his crew. We should do the same, especially because your crew is made of a bunch of people that already went to, what is it, Tartarus or Hell or whatever. So they're already cooked, so it doesn't matter. And Clarice is like, oh, but I offered them Elysium. Like I promised I talked to my father, and maybe he'd give them a second chance.
I mean, even if your quest succeeds, they go back to the underworld, right? You'd just be sending them home a little early.
I promised them Elysium.
What?
If the quest succeeds, I told them that when they return to the underworld, it would be to the fields of Elysium.
Only the gods can decide that.
I was gonna ask Ares.
So it's just like, girl, you shouldn't have promised something that you have no power over. But as they're, getting devoured or whatever and being sent back to, I'm just gonna say hell. As in, you're being sent back to hell, she's feeling some type of way about it. And, you know, she grabs the steering wheel and, you know, turns it the other way. And because we haven't spent that much time with her, and most of the time we spent, she's kind of just being, you know, she kind of sucks. I was like, okay, well, I didn't really see her bonding enough with them for her to really care that much. So it was like, is her character a person that, you know, is one of those like, I'm a bully, but really I'm just a good person. I just don't know how to express my emotions, or, you know, type of thing. And again, it's me wondering, like, did they spend more time together in the book so you really get to know, like, some of the crew and you're like, oh, okay, I get how she'd feel that way. And we're just missing that from the show, because I was like, girl, they were already done. Like, you know, they did what they did, and like, we should have just sacrificed them. And I'm like, am I the asshole? Like, I'm on Reddit. So again, please, if you read the books, let me know. But yeah, there's just like so many parts of this where I was just like, I feel like I wish I had spent more time with everybody, and that way we're getting to these big moments, these emotional moments that are supposed to be hitting for these characters. I can feel it too, because sometimes I'm just like, I don't know. And I feel like the biggest thing that is like the telegraph of what I'm talking about is this whole thing is like, okay, we gotta get the Golden Fleece. Luke is against us again. We find out that we can save Talia with the Golden Fleece. Seems dope. Annabeth has a connection to her. You know, her, Luke, and Thalia. Is it Thalia? I hope it's Thalia. You know, used to be cool like that, and then she sacrificed herself, and then she got turned into a tree, right? And so this whole time, Annabeth is just like, I can't, like, I don't want to talk about this. Like, it's just too much for me. Even up to the very end, she's like, I already know the story. Like, please, let's not go over it again. And by the time you get the final scene of what actually happened to Thalia, I was like, oh, Annabeth wasn't even there. She was like, oh, take her away. And she runs away, and then you get the private moment with Thalia and Zeus. And it's like, the way that they kept bringing up how Annabeth feels about it and how it was like bothering her, the way that they were talking about it made it seem to me like she had watched Thalia sacrifice herself and get turned into a tree. Like, she was there. And so when you get to the scene, I was like, she's not even there. It's like, oh, girl, you acting like you were there. Like, I understand, like, for a little kid, it is traumatizing to know that, like, your friend / big sister went to go sacrifice herself to save you. And obviously that weighs heavy on her. And, you know, there's trauma and all that other stuff. But again, I think the way that the show was, like, wording it and, like, not telegraphing it, but, like, the way that they were just kind of setting it up, it just really seemed like Annabeth watched her go down. So when she's like, I already know this story, I was there, it's like, no, you weren't there. But I did like that, and I think I saw a thing that this was different from the book, but at least for the show version, I did like that Thalia is against Zeus, right? And she's like, you only had me so I can be a part of your stupid war. I don't even care. I'm not gonna do it. I have my own things to do. I don't even care. I'll take my friends and we'll go live in the woods if it gotta be like that. Like, I don't care. I don't need to stay at this camp. And for him to be like, nah, I can't let that slide, and then just turns her into a tree.
I don't want to be your daughter. I will never be your weapon. Do you hear me?
Because he sucks like that, and he always has. Like, if you read any story about Zeus, I swear this dude sucks. You know what I'm saying? God of War, he ain't even better in there. So, to have that, him be such a dick, and then to find out that, is it Chiron? I forget everyone's name. But the centaur dude was there the whole time, and then he was just like, yeah, I went along and I told everyone that, you know, the fake story that she's this big hero. And I can't wait for season 3 for her to, like, I really hope that they dive into the fact of, like, hey, you were tragically turned into a tree because your father sucks. And they played it up as this big hero story. Like, I want her to be like, are you fucking serious right now? Like,
she defeated her assailants at the cost of her own life. Zeus, in his mercy, has honored her bravery by giving her a new form of life.
my father, changed me, abused me, whatever you want to. I can't think of the right word, but you know what I mean. So I really hope they dive into that in the next season. I know the little summary thing seemed like they don't even really get into it in the third book. So, but again, this seems a little different based on some other video I watched. So hopefully getting into that. But yeah, I think the problem I had with this season was just like I just felt like I was like, should I be spending more time with these people? You know what I mean? I feel like we're moving so fast. But again, I don't think this season was bad, but another thing I complained about, I was gonna get into the good stuff, but another thing bothered me. I got to bring it up, which was the brother cyclops name. I can't remember right now. My editor will put it in there. It kind of seemed like his character at first was like, okay, cool, a new character. He has a certain set of skills. They all do. Let's see how he fits with the team. But I feel like the way that they played him up in the show was like he kept being like how do I say this? He kept being like the person that had the skill that they needed. So it wasn't like he was the MacGuffin itself, but it's like when they had the problem, like he was the solution. And it kind of made him seem like the not know-it-all, but like the guy version of a Mary Sue. Like he just could do everything. Like he's super strong. Okay, he's good with like crafting and stuff like that. So he made the wheel. He was taking care of the ship when they were on there. Oh no, we don't know what to do. Like, how are we gonna catch up to Luke's ship? Oh, he just happens to have the little thing. He finds that little bracelet or whatever that gets the seahorses to get them to take him over there. Like, it just seemed like he kept being like, you have a problem, I randomly have the solution. And I was like, all right. Like, and it made me not like his character, but not like his character in the same way of like Rey from Star Wars. Like, it's not your fault, it's the fact that they keep writing you this way, you know what I mean? And I felt the same way about this character. It's like, there's nothing against you. I like that you're like, I was super lonely and it's rough out there, and I asked for a friend and I got a brother. It's like, oh, it's super sweet. And then they just keep giving him like the whatever the team needs, he's got it. And speaking of more letdowns, I feel this feels so negative on the show. They kept playing up this idea of Clarice being the one to be the one to finish the quest. And so when they got to the end, everybody's fighting each other, and Percy stabs the fleece and is like, all right, you finish it. I thought it was going to be like this thing where she's like, using her, because she's the daughter of Ares, the god of war, that she's going to use her skills, smack a couple people around, maybe roll out the way, do a backflip or whatever, get to the tree, and then boom. And so for her just to be like, yeet. And I was like, oh, I feel like any of them could have done that for real. It wasn't like she's the, daughter of the god of javelin. So I was like, okay, I kind of felt like a letdown, because it felt like a build-up, and then it just wasn't executed properly. So yeah, I guess there's a lot of things I just didn't like about this season. I'm like, is it me? Is it the book? Or yeah, is it me? Is it the book? Is it they didn't get enough time? Is it the budget? Like, I don't know. But again, I watched the whole thing. I like mythical stories when they're again on the island, even though I complained about it. When she's like, no, I figured this out. I can get past the sirens. And you see her mother come, and it's like, yay, I can finally connect with my mom. And then it's like, psych, it was all fake. You're just about to die. I love that moment. Again, Thalia being betrayed by her dad, and that whole, like, leaving it on a mystery. And, like, Percy's like, oh, I had this dream about her, like, being the end of everything. And it kind of just ending there. It's just like, oh snap, like I'm excited for the next season, especially because we never got a third movie, so I don't know what's going on other than that video I watched. And again, it was just like a quick summary of like, here's the basics of it, but like I don't know the actual steps of getting there. I do like that it's very interesting that the kids are like, yeah, we're gonna team up with Kronos, right? He's gonna lead us to victory against the gods who don't really care about us. And it is so clear that the gods don't care about them, because this whole season, I don't. There's another thing I don't understand is like the camp counselors keep being think bad things are happening, and they're just like, okay, and it's like, but why are you? I don't understand why you like that. I don't know why they're like that. Again, that's another thing. I'm just like, I feel like I'm missing something. But it makes sense why they would want to team up with someone else, because the gods suck for real. But I also found it interesting, and I hope that some of the future seasons get into this, because this is one thing I don't understand. It's like, okay, isn't Kronos the one that ate his kids? Isn't it right? So it's like, why would he really be helping his grandkids? So I hope that there's like a reason, a logical reason of why the kids would team up with him, rather than it just simply being like a power thing, especially because this show is so much of like, remember this person who did this is how we're going to get past this problem that we're having. So for none of the other kids, the evil kids, to be like, hey, isn't Kronos the, like, the god devourer or whatever, none of them to bring it up, I'm like, seems a little weird that not someone wouldn't, mention it. But I do like that, like, even in his coffin, he's so strong, like, he hits you telepathically, and they're just like, oh, like, I can't handle it. And it's like, okay, well, what happens when he starts taking form? You know what I mean? That's going to be a big problem. I'm excited. I do like that there's this big mystery around, like, Pan that Grover keeps trying to figure out, like, what's his deal? What's going on? Is he still alive? Yada, yada. But I also feel like, hey, we can only stretch out this idea so long before it's like, we're still looking for Pan. Like, can we speed this up a little bit? You know what I mean? Other than that, I do like that each season is just like kind of like, hey, there's a quest you have to go on, and it almost feels like Percy and his friends and just like people in camp keep trying to do like these basic things, like, hey, we're trying to get this this thing done, and it just keeps leading back to this war that's about to happen. So it's like what should be a mundane quest for them keeps being like, we keep getting roped into this, like, end game style battle between our parents, and it is just like, when does it end for the kids? You know what I mean? But I'm saying that in a good way. I think I do like that it is, these kids keep getting wrapped up in all the shenanigans. Even though it's not their fault, they didn't ask to be born this way. Especially, again, going back to like the evil kids, you can see how they're like, you don't care about me. And especially some of the other camps, like the Ares camp, it's like, yo, you got a bajillion kids, ain't no way you care about all of them. Like, I think you're just out there having fun, if you know what I mean. I don't know if there's more I want to ramble about, but again, I wouldn't say this is a bad season. I just feel like this season just didn't capture me the way that the first season did. And again, I just don't know what it is. I'm hoping that if we do get all 5 seasons to really wrap this up, I do hope that there is enough time to really get us to understand everything that's going on. If they can get more budget, that would be awesome, especially because based on the video I seen, ain't no way we're getting a good season 5 if they ain't giving budget based on what the guy was saying the story is. I'm hoping if we need more episodes, give them more episodes. I'm hoping people are watching this enough that it is given enough of what it properly needs to tell this story the right way. I don't know. This season didn't hit for me. Let me know in the comments below how you felt about this season. Again, if you read the books, please let me know. Is this close to it? Is there like a major thing that they messed up to help me understand why this isn't working for me? Is it just me? Is the second book just not as good? I don't know. Let me know. But until next time, peace.